teksto. So in the negotiations of the political declaration, what was palpable was the pushback, yung tinatawag ang pushback of some member states on their commitment to realizing gender equality. Yun, na-feel namin yun ng delegation when we were there. So several countries, this was present in their statements, in their remarks. But what was hopeful was that the strong support of champions like member states, civil society organizations, the UN agencies, and advocates, they were all backing the realization and our continuing work on gender equality and women empowerment. So, as in any processes, so the Philippines submitted comments and inputs to the political declaration. This highlights our country's priorities in migration, care agenda, vulnerable groups that include rural women, women with disabilities, migrant women, I've mentioned older women, combating trafficking, and eliminating violence against women and girls. The Philippines also expressed support for the ethical and safe development of use of technology and addressing barriers to digital inclusion and access of women and girls, and developing gender-responsive strategies on climate change mitigation and adaptation to support adaptive capacities of women and girls to the adverse impacts of climate change. So, member states, tayo, no, Philippines, through the declaration, we recognize the new challenges that we are facing, no, that are emerging as well. And through the declaration, we strongly reaffirmed our political will and our firm commitment to tackle these existing and emerging challenges. So through this outcome document po of the CSW, member states are aware of the challenges to implementation of the several critical areas as mentioned in the declaration, Beijing Declaration and Platform for Action. And these critical areas are women in poverty, education and training of women, women in health, violence against women, women in armed conflict, women and the economy, women in power and decision making, institutional mechanism for advancement of women, human rights of women, women and the media, women and the environment, and the girl child. Yeah, but looking at the political declaration, napasok naman din po yung mga priorities natin as Philippines. And this includes our commitment to women, peace, and security. And the declaration emphasizes the need to integrate women's voices and leadership into all stages of conflict prevention, peace building, and conflict resolution. It also underscores the importance of eradicating poverty in all forms, including ensuring women and girls' right to education, particularly in STEM fields, and by increasing public investments in care systems. It also highlights the need to close the gender-digital divide, as mentioned earlier, and calls for renewed investment in gender statistics and data to drive informed policy making. So, in gist, member states recommitted to taking further concrete action to ensure the full, effective, and accelerated implementation and resourcing of the Beijing Declaration and Platform for Action in its implementation. So yun po, in gist, yung political declaration. Next, please. So, ang isa din pong kinahinatnan ng meeting is that they were able to finalize the multi-year program of work. And I will just read the CSW70 for next year. The priority theme will be ensuring and strengthening access to justice for all women and girls, including by promoting inclusive and equitable legal systems, eliminating discriminatory laws, policies, and practices, and addressing structural barriers. So as a review theme, women's full and effective participation in decision-making in public life, as well as the elimination of violence for achieving gender equality and the empowerment of all women and girls. So for the next CSW, we would imagine that the role of our, for example, concerned agencies like Department of Justice or maybe our law enforcement agencies would be very useful in our participation in the next CSW 70. So yun po. And yeah, basically, we would like to have the same robust and active participation in the CSW 70. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Director Van, for your presentation. Given you saw the themes for the upcoming 5 years, so we hope you have taken note. And of course, as mentioned nga po kanina, we will not be able to invite everyone, no? Given that we will be inviting those agencies relevant to the team, and of course, those that we can give roles so that we can maximize the participation of the Philippine delegation in the CSW. And as mentioned, there will be, you can also have side events naman po here in the Philippines if you would like to get involved in the CSW. So, ayun po. Thank you. Now we'll move on to the last part of the program, which would be the closing remarks from our permanent representative of the Philippines to the United Nations in New York, Ambassador Antonio Lagdameo. So, of course, he cannot be here with us today, but he has prepared a recorded remarks for you all. Ayan po, Iza, please play the slide.
Distinguished colleagues, civil society partners, ladies and gentlemen. Warm greetings from the Permanent Mission of the Philippines in New York. At the outset, I wish to congratulate the Philippine Commission, led by Chairperson Elmelita Valdevilla, and the entire Philippine Delegation for successfully representing our country in the 69th session of the Commission on the Status of Women. Through your active engagement in 2 weeks of CSW, we were able to convey the priorities of the Philippines, share our good practices and challenges, and strengthen our partnerships toward gender equality and the empowerment of women and girls. Though not a member of the Commission this year, we nevertheless contributed to the outcomes of the session, including at the regional preparatory meetings. The political declaration that was adopted by consensus reflects our priorities and concerns. There are references to migrant women, older women, women with disabilities, and indigenous women. Gender perspectives in climate change are included, as well as integrated care systems and universal care and support services. A comprehensive approach to eliminating violence that is amplified by technology, including trafficking in persons, is noted. Strengthening protection of all women and girls in armed conflict situations, and ensuring the full and equal meaningful participation of women in peace efforts are stressed. The Commission also agreed with our proposals on the ethical collection and use of data and gender statistics. The political declaration could have been more ambitious, but undoubtedly we have already gained much in the text that was adopted. It is my sincere hope that the political declaration of the 30th anniversary of the Beijing Declaration and Platform for Action can be utilized domestically. I hope we can build on the political declarations, agreed conclusions, and other outcomes of CSW and use them in transformative programs that impact women and girls on the ground. I have no doubt that the PCW will do its best to translate the global commitments into national results. I also wish to thank our delegates for their active participation in the ministerial roundtables and interactive dialogues. These dialogues are insightful, and participation therein gives us information on trends and lessons learned by other member states and the UN system. Thank you for your statements and interventions. The bilateral meetings gave us an opportunity to pursue or strengthen diplomatic relations with other countries. This is helpful in our bid for a non-permanent seat in the Security Council in 2027. The Department of Foreign Affairs will be following up with bilateral partners on the discussions to see how we can mutually benefit. The side events which the Philippines organized have been a resounding success. Congratulations to everyone and thank you for your hard work. Together with our co-sponsors, we were able to bring forth meaningful discussions on women, peace, and security, and on the needs and challenges of national women's machineries. We were also able to co-sponsor several side events that resonated with our national interest. I am happy to know that a youth representative joined the delegation and spoke on behalf of the government during the youth dialogue. Several civil society organizations based in the Philippines were also present in New York for the meeting. Cooperation between the government and civil society actors is crucial in taking the global commitments back to the communities. The permanent mission in New York will continue to support national and local government efforts to achieve gender equality and women empowerment. We are your steady partner in advancing our shared goals for all the women and girls of the Philippines.
Okay, although the New York Permanent Mission is not here, we would like to express our gratitude through our DFA colleagues for sending this recording of Ambassador Lagdameo. And that officially concludes our program. But before we let you go, we have distributed QR codes sa inyong table for you to answer. So we kindly request for a brief moment of your time to answer.